Hello, my name is Al-Muthanna and my project today is a Magic the Gathering card detection system using OpenCV and Python. So the first thing we need to do is begin the video capturing process. We open a frame and we connect to our webcam through it. We then set up two directories. One directory is for the card JPEGs that it needs to compare, and the other is to TXT files of the same name to the JPEGs that will be used for the text-to-speech portion of the code. Next, we run our webcam through a simple binary threshold so that we can clearly see the edges and corners and borders of the card. We're going to use this to draw contours and later to create a bounding rectangle. This exact same process is going to be used for the reference images within our directory folder. For the webcam threshold in particular, we use morphology and dilate so that we can get clearer pixels and clearer lines. This isn't used much when it comes to the cards in the directory, as they are as clear as they could possibly be. Now that we have our contours, we're going to find the biggest contour and draw a blue rectangle around that and call that our area of interest, which we will consider is the entire card. We're then going to take that rectangle and we're going to warp everything that is inside of it using NumPy and mathematics. This warp is going to fix any perspective issues that may come when we put the card in front of it, in front of the webcam in an incorrect way, such as when the card is sideways or when the card is upside down. Now, our chosen method of comparison is going to be orb. Orb creates key point descriptors in both the images in the directory and the webcam footage that it finds, and attempts to compare them using brute force matching. Once the brute force matching is complete, we multiply that by a Lowe's ratio of 0.5 and then find the length of the number of good matches. That will tell us which cards are the best match and which cards are not great matches. We then filter them so that we only see the cards that have the best match. The last part is an optional text-to-speech portion of the code. This code initiates when the user presses the Q key, in which case the program will take the most recent best matched card file name and will compare it to the file names within the .txt folder. Once it finds the one that is exactly the same, it will then open it and read out the contents. In this case, the contents will be the card name and the card type. Finally, here's a full demo of the project. Now, because this code in particular uses brute force matching as the matching algorithm, it does produce more false positives than usual. These false positives affect the text-to-speech portion of the code, which due to the high frequency at which the best matches change, an incorrect file name is used, and therefore the wrong file is pulled from the .txt folder, as you can see here.
Card name, monolith, types, artifact.
It thought that Teethbearer Giant was monolith, which we know is incorrect. An improvement to this would be to use a better matching algorithm rather than brute force, and maybe we'd be able to fix that problem, as well as some fixes into the actual text-to-speech portion of the code. Now, what's interesting is that our warping portion of the code actually works quite well. As you can see here, through the mist, even though it is rotated, is still noticeable, and shadows of the past is also noticeable even though it is upside down. Now, when a card is tilted, the borders are not defined very well, and so it's harder for the program to actually find it. There are times where it does notice it. When only a portion of the card is shown, it's hard for the program to understand what's going on and will usually result in no card being found. There are some instances where this is not true, however, it's hard to replicate. Finally, Amaranthian Wall is a foil card with a reflective tint on it. This reflective tint causes the program to be highly unprecise. Sometimes it notices this, sometimes it does not. The lighting really greatly affects this card in particular.